Well, hello. Today is day number 6, and I do have a special guest for you today. I happen to be Skyping with my mom for hours already. There she is. This is my mom. You heard about her, Heidi. Heidi, that's the Heidi. Like Heidi, Heidi. It's a famous song in Switzerland. So anyway, day number 6, special guest, my mom from Switzerland. Say something.
Hello, it is nice meeting you.
Yeah, there you go. Very good. Thank you. We love meeting you as well. So there we are now a garden. That's how it looks like. The branches, and now that's me. Do I look like her? A little bit, a little bit. Yes. All right, so I'm going to finish talking to my mom, and I will be seeing you in a tiny little bit. Because now my voice is warmed up. I might be tired, but I know actually I'm not. I'm all pumped. So, yes, I see you in a little bit for day number 6. So stay tuned. Thank you. All right, so here I am. I had a very nice day with my mom. I don't see her too often online, maybe once a month or something. So once we start talking, two Geminis, then they're on a roll. All right, so I'm going to dive right into my further talking, and yes, let's go see what happens next in Little Linda's adventure with Heidi. Well, Heidi will not be in it because I'm going to go away one more time. Poor lady, she's always alone without her daughter, but I'm still there in her heart, so that's what matters. All righty, so there you go. The only way is up. By now, my vessel reached a count of 20, and that was when my within lingering the outer planet dream suddenly, happily ever after started to knock on my awareness door as well. Oh, hello. Yes, and this United States topic seemed to remain a quite persistent one, and little Linda certainly always found herself very drawn to it whenever especially New York City or California appeared in her reality in whatever form available. During my travels throughout my middle school, for instance, I used to have this one classmate who my soul thought happened to be such a lucky one of finding both of her brothers' vessels living in New Jersey, on this other planet in which everything seems to be possible. Wow. Well, and this reality check therefore meant for her that she found herself very privileged to every summer spend 4 to 5 weeks right over there in my dream destination with her entire family. And this fact always caused a big wow effect on my soul, and little Linda certainly found herself admiring Katja very much so for all her many living on Earth game adventure creations over there. A further skill that I always loved about my dear classmate happened to be her flawless and perfectly well-trained ability to express herself in this, to my soul, so enticing American English language. How blessed Katja truly was out of my perspective. One day. Now, as my dear classmate knew about my love for New York City and America in general, she therefore always made sure to yearly send me a postcard from her many Big Apple adventures my way. One probably can only imagine how thrilled little Linda felt the second that her eyes spotted those different Manhattan boss postcards in her mailbox. Oh yeah! Quickly, I therefore always ended up grabbing each card and pinned it right next to the other ones on the wall located close to my pillow. Just the way I used to experience Helen doing it with all her collected Nena material. Yep, the Statue of Liberty, the Financial District, and the Twin Towers therefore accompanied my journey daily for many years already, and whenever my soul got presented that astonishing Manhattan skyline, I would instantly find my vessel covered with many goosebumps, followed by a From My Head Cinema created own U.S. Linda trailer. Yes. And alongside with all those many inner experiences, My longing to see all of this life one day with my own 2 eyes certainly grew stronger by the year. Ha! These 3 to me very precious postcards I, by the way, am still safely guarding in one of my photo albums in Switzerland. Oh yes! Thank you, dear Katja, for your dream nurturing support throughout those past years. Love. Now, with my achievements of being 1, hired as a full-time banker from a very safe employer, 2, with a to my soul satisfying monthly income, and with 3, many more added Swiss coins towards little Linda's red and white savings stock account, my out of a Swiss perspective security foundation successfully got built, and therefore the moment for my next stepping stone jump upon my this living on Earth game path officially emerged. Yes, the other planet chapter, accompanied with my prior envisioned dream to celebrate my slowly approaching 21st birthday right over there. Woohoo! As my bank transferring plan B version still remained as an out-of-question game plan option at hand, I therefore, as a next move, decided to start a collection for any of my plan C mate possibilities instead. Within a short amount of time, the thoughts become things reality, combined with my full-on belief that where there is a will, there always is a way, must have worked as the magical needed formula in order for the perfect solution to appear quite randomly. Boom and hooray! On the same floor that I grew up at, my mom and I used to have an older man as our second direct neighbor who happened to be occupying that space even before our arrival back then in 1979. Yup, that long. During one evening, I remember running into him in front of our building when my friendly neighbor, after some chit-chatting, found himself curious, wondering about my future plans, now that little Linda graduated from her banking apprenticeship. Happily, I therefore instantly let Herr Grauer into my current accepted job situation and into my newly forged birthday plans. By now, my soul knew that this upcoming The Other Planet adventure would occur over a duration of about 6 months. As this amount of time happened to be the previous legal visiting time frame for any non-visa Swiss passport holders prior to 9/11. What luxurious treat those days simply used to be. Wink. Then, while Herr Grauer attentively kept on following my storyline, his soul at some point further wanted to know if mine already came up with concrete plans in regards of this U.S. dream of mine. A nope returned his way instantly, as little Linda truly just stepped into this new mission of hers a little while ago. With a smile on his face, my friendly neighbor then began to share that he happened to have 2 of his sons living in Charlotte, North Carolina, that both worked as pilots for the U.S. Airways. Both were the father of a very young family, and that he happily would love to check in with them if one possibly would be in need of a nanny, if I would like him to. Ha! Well, that sounded like a fantastic plan to my soul, and joyfully I therefore expressed my green light to Herr Grauer in order to find out more about these quite interesting sounding options at hand. Everything happens for a reason after all. Boom. Shortly after, my friendly neighbor provided me with the wonderful feedback that one of his son's neighbor couple turned out to show their interest in my nanny services, and if I felt the same way, that he therefore, as a next step, would provide me with their phone number. Strike! My soul, of course, instantly found herself resonating with this opportunity and had my vessel call up this American family once their phone number was in my possession. My then English knowledge luckily turned out to be just good enough to converse the most important details with this couple on the other end of the line, and quickly the three of our souls came to the agreement that my vessel would be heading to their Charlotte home 2 weeks prior to little Linda's 21st Whoomp, there she is celebration. Woo! That was easy. Thank you, dear universe. After quitting my take-a-bit job with lots of excitement, I then instantly went ahead and purchased my very first flight ticket to this other planet, which stated Charlotte, North Carolina. Into what an exciting and historical moment this one truly transformed itself into. Finally, this long-cherished soul childhood dream of mine was about to come true after such a long, never-ending period. Wow! On May 12, 1996, my vessel therefore, as planned for the first time ever, set foot onto this promising the other planet reality of mine and entered this new living on Earth game phase fully energized with lots of respect for the unknown at hand and with a thrilled, "Hello America, here I am finally. Thank you for having me aboard for the upcoming ±6 months. Now let's rock and roll. Show me what you've got," outburst. Boom. This new adventure of mine, which this time took place many more kilometers away from my hometown Amriswil, on a now even complete different continent, certainly provided little Linda anew with many more valuable ingredients for her precious Life Toolbox collection, which mainly included more insights about different interpretations of lifestyles and cultures, and about who this Linda wartenweiler soul seems to be. Are you as curious as I am, my fellow Deocore traveler, to find out what these additional discoveries were? Sweet, let's go. This time around, my vessel found itself set in a reality as a nanny of 2 little boys. One counted 1.5 years and the other 3. As my new host family anew turned out to be an okay choice, I therefore, as usually, decided to pull out my wonderful positivity card, by further have it mixed with many of my thus far gained travel experiences and with the needed amount of curiosity for what magic would await little Linda this time around. Wink. Having another Herr Grauer as a direct neighbor definitely revealed itself as a super help and useful on so many different levels. As Herr Grauer Jr. himself grew up in Amriswil, and as my Möne this time around happened to be experiencing her own adventures far away from where my vessel was placed at, my soul fortunately found this like-minded and fellow Torgau soul accessible whenever my discouraging Mr. Loneliness and Mrs. Homesickness friends sneaked up on me. Thankfully, little Linda remained as a welcomed guest at Grauer's home the second we all met, and instantly my soul found in his wife's, and in his 2 kiddies my first family abroad, which after all still halfway rooted in my beloved Amriswil. Yay! One reality check that triggered those discouraging friends of mine into my awareness surely turned out to be the fact that my new surrounding vessels and either ranged from a 30 count up or 10 down, which had my 21 years one pretty much unexpectedly float around in my own world. Oof. Well, and this gapping phenomenon just happens to be sparking this reality check into my awareness that little Linda actually all along used to experience the exact same situation with all her with time collected blood cousins at hand, which update certainly reveals itself as an interesting dark connection discovery, as this special effect seems to, for whatever reason, cross my living on Earth game path repeatedly. Still, what? Yeah. Even though my soul decided to experience this Linda wartenweiler journey as an only child, and with therefore many extended family member exploration opportunities instead, all of my same-blooded 9 cousins ended up starting their own journeys, either somewhere in the early to mid-1960s or in the spread-out 1980s, which left my soul as the only 1970s reproduction abroad. Ha! Well, and this reality check therefore allowed little Linda to explore a world in which those blood-related family member playmate options ended up being either way too old or too young for her to really interact with during any family reunions, which therefore instead left enough room for her to even more so take advantage of this only child experience. Boom. Thy will is my command. Wink. So yes, and therefore this new, quiet, and family-oriented Charlotte experience of mine at first certainly required quite some adaptation skills on several levels from my end, as only a few months prior my soul enthusiastically started to explore Zurich's magical rave and techno scene with a mix of old and new friends, which included weekly dancing until the break of dawn adventures. Yeehaw! Oh boy, and one can only imagine about how the world of this family-based environment at the Providence Country Club, located in a big, quiet city in the southern part of the other planet, suddenly seemed to be standing still for adventurous little Linda. Help! And yes, culture shock of its finest in every sense of the word. Yep. Truly everything seemed to move so much slower and different to where my vessel just came from, including their love for music. Instead of any of my highly beloved electronic beats bursting out of any loudspeakers, my soul now got confronted with hip-hop, R&B, and with alternative vibes instead. What? Help! Tunes, I can't stop raving, I can't stop raving. Therefore, very much so ended up beating through my head, whilst my soul found herself busy with this overall fitting in task at hand. To these hip-hop and R&B tunes, though, I actually quite quickly found myself connecting with, as during my high school chapter, little Linda at some point ended up considering herself a hip-hop hooray, ho, hey, ho, hopper for a little while, which therefore left her with no doubt with the probably most challenging task at hand, which was the ska, punk, alternative, reggae, pop, rock band named No Doubt. That's right. This band's style certainly differed so much from what my oracles had been exposed to prior, or better said, were used to at all, so that whenever MTV decided to air their then smashing hit Spiderwebs in an on-growing loop, I instantly felt prompted to either quickly switch the channel or to at least mute the video for the time being. Yup. Even though little Linda found herself quite resistant towards the, from her end, perceived all over the place chosen beat combinations, and by the weird added opera-like sounding female vocal at first, she with time actually began to develop a little love for No Doubt's own and unique way of art creation interpretation. That's right. Well, and that little love then grew into a size to where I, 5 months down the road, suddenly found myself liking this band with No Doubt, and shortly after ended up being a proud owner of their in 1995 released Tragic Kingdom compact disc. Ha! And even further down the road, Gwen Stefani, on top of it all, somehow managed to turn herself into a secretly, from my end, followed artist soul of mine. Oops! Now it's out. Well, stay tuned then for more about us to come, my patient co-traveler. Gratitude. Now, as finding playmates in my age range revealed itself as another rather challenging task, I at some point came to the conclusion that there had to exist a point in my US itinerary stating The exploration of this magical, the other planet experience must be carried out on your own, as being on your own, after all, is part of your current living on Earth game agreement. What? What? Well, these rather unexpected facts definitely welcomed my reality somewhat out of the blue, and my soul instantly felt very certain that she must have overread that part too before she embarked onto this Linda wartenweiler journey. Bummer. Of course, I followed through as suggested after having given a suddenly appearing trip opportunity its first trial. As I, in addition to my somewhat quite boring nanny services, decided to enhance my stay with a basic English course twice per week during the first 3 months, little Linda therefore was given the opportunity at the end of our program to join her shy Japanese classmate Yoshi and his friend Hitoshi on a road trip to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Sweet! Very thrilled, I therefore instantly found myself accepting this newly on the horizon appeared adventure, and this weekend away from my usual mundane nanny routine, substituted with my first real the other planet exploration instead, definitely turned out to be the needed trigger experience in order for me to execute some desired changes once back in Charlotte. Smile. Alongside with the reality check of my 2 travel companions revealing themselves as rather quiet and different souls, I by then also understood the beloved universe's point on having me explore this big wild world on my own more often, starting right then. Yes, and that is how this life-enhancing pre-taste excursion awoke my traveling bug and my inner adventuress even more so. Finally. Instantly, I therefore informed my host family about my further weekend getaway plans and added that the exploration of their home country after all happened to be my main reason why little Linda's vessel found itself there. The lady of the house, as expected, immediately ended up expressing her concerns about my newly forged plans, as she already did prior to my Myrtle Beach adventure. Ha! Then, as she kept insisting on resisting, my soul therefore decided that the perfect moment just arose for me to let go of this unsatisfying nanny opportunity by making use of my already created plan B at hand, which consisted my immediate relocation into the available empty room at Grauer's house. Boom! Letting go of something that no longer serves one's growth and expansion. Just like that. Bye-bye. That's right. And along with this effortless dance move from one home into the other, my truly envisioned US dream finally found itself writing its first chapter by allowing little Linda to explore it as wild and free as she desired for it to be. Woohoo! By now, my vessel spent half of my planned 6 months on the other planet, and all that I thus far found myself able to explore happened to be Charlotte, Raleigh, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and the Providence Country Club. What? LOL. Exactly. With this new setup, and with another 3 months in the pipeline, my soul therefore decided to instantly take advantage of this newly gained freedom by diving right into some further adventure creations. Yeah! Let's finally really rock and roll. Atlanta turned out to be my desired next pick, which I ended up exploring with the perfect travel companion, which was my very first owned car, introducing a beautiful white Volkswagen Golf II convertible with white leather seats, born in 1991. Yeehaw! Now, one of the reasons why my next destination fell to Atlanta happened to be the fact that the 100 Olympic Summer Games just ended their course there a few days prior, and the thought of experiencing this probably by now quite ghost town-like appearing environment therefore unraveled itself as a rather rare and unique fun fact opportunity to explore. Atlanta definitely turned itself into a quite educational and interesting excursion choice. Beside my visit of all these remaining Olympic attractions, I, to my surprise, soon came to learn that Coca-Cola got invented right there in 1886 by a pharmacist called Dr. John S. Pemberton, who originally intended to sell this black soda drink as a patent medicine, and that Martin Luther King Jr.'s soul decided to start his living on Earth game journey out there as well. Wow! Those discoveries truly threw their impressive effects on little Linda, and Heather especially loved the many various existing Coca-Cola samples which got offered in this adventurous built museum. Ha! Then, after the completion of my Atlanta mission, my vessel moved further down south with my reliable girlfriend to jazzy New Orleans for another few days before we headed straight back home to Charlotte. Olé! One happy occasion which allowed little Linda to even more so enjoy her long-desired and remaining the other planet adventure happened to be the arrival of some unexpected blessed news delivered straight from the beloved universe. Ha! About 2.5 months into my Charlotte ride, I, to my surprise, was given a to me rather random seemingly phone call from my lovely ex-vis-a-vis mortgage department co-worker friend Madeleine, which resulted directly from her office desk. My soul, of course, reacted very excited about this by then quite rare familiar voice connecting experience, before hers then, after a few minutes of catching up, decided that it was at the time to let the cat out of its bag. On this, my mid-morning. Eagerly, Maddie therefore suddenly started to share that my substitution, right after her trial phase, decided to continue her many living on Earth game adventures somewhere else, that my desk therefore happened to be available again immediately, and that everyone in the team would love to fill this spot with my vessel anew right after my return in 3 months. Boah, what? Then she further added that my old direct boss and Amriswil's branch manager actually would find themselves waiting right in the office next door in order to discuss any further details if interested. Well, I must admit that by now I truly found myself very baffled and honored at the same time about this unexpected abracadabra spectacle at hand. And as this position happened to be my thus far favorite one, I more than happily consented to continue this conversation. Yes. After a short and crisp conversation with my soon-to-be new 2 bosses, I therefore instantly found myself accepting their offer right after their magical, "That's absolutely okay, Frau wartenweiler. We are aware of your travels and will happily be waiting for your return" response in regards of my further declared U.S. plans at run. Wow, what? Well, my soul by now certainly found herself completely floating in the shocked state of mind, but simultaneously also feeling amazed about the effects of information flow that kept on traveling through my ear canal. Wow, they truly would be waiting for little Linda's return in order to fill this spot? How incredible! And just like that, I found myself out of the blue financially all set and from the takeaway hired again, just as it already occurred during my delightful housekeeping school adventure a few years ago. Ha! Wonderful und danke. Then, right after the return from my New Orleans excursion, the magical universe decided to brighten up my living on Earth game ride even more so by sending me some more exciting news my way. Hooray! As generous Helga Auer Jr. happened to have access to amazing 90% off US Airways airfare deals, he therefore, after some chit-chatting, went ahead and organized 4 happy hour tickets with my name on it, which enabled my soul to finally explore my 2 favorite The Other Planet dream destinations in one shot only. Strike! And the purchase tickets at hand said Charlotte, JFK, JFK, Charlotte, Charlotte, LAX, LAX, Charlotte. Super yay! The price for this wonderful opportunity ended up being 100 and something bucks for my red and white savings stock account, and instantly delivered little Linda with this joyous feeling of just having won the lottery. What a great deal this indeed was. And as one thing always leads to another, my soul then right away got presented its next opportunity in order to ensure a perfect completion for my travels to come. Ha! Ready? During that week, one of our neighbors happened to have their parents over from New Jersey for a couple of days, and they instantly wondered if I already found a place to stay once I updated them about my upcoming first New York City trip ever. After I shook my head, and after we found out that the 3 of our vessels would be landing on the exact same date in JFK within a few hours difference only, this lovely couple then instantly invited me to stay with them at their house in New Jersey if interested. Yes, and another strike, of course. Of course my soul was, and accepted their nice offer within the following second. As soon as my very thrilled vessel landed in JFK a few days later, I then, as suggested by this friendly couple, made my way with the subway straight to the on 34th Street Herald Square located Manhattan Mall. This spot, I was told, would offer the perfect starting out position for little Linda to dive into her very first own Big Apple adventure creation and impression collection during my wait period for them. Sweet! And so it turned out to be. Wow, how amazed my soul felt in this very impressive and legendary moment of suddenly finding herself live amongst these never-ending tall skyscrapers, accompanied by New York City's famous traffic noise and masses of other moving vessels. Hooray, I made it, finally! One of my big childhood dreams just got materialized, and little Linda found herself about to experience some of those thrilling Katya adventures for herself. Yay! 4 days I gifted to myself in order to explore this metropolis as a sneak peek experience, which ended up causing enough magic for little Linda to instantly decide that she would be returning for many more Living on Earth game adventure collections in the hopefully near future. Deal! That's right. And now the deal is that we're now cutting this off. That's it. We're going to go to Los Angeles tomorrow. And now it's time for me. It is later in the PM. Enough talking, socializing. I loved it, but there's only so much one can give to someone else, because self-love also requires a lot of time for themselves. And that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to have some nice dinner and relax a little bit. Thank you so much. I love having you here, spending time with you. It's fun. And let's see what the day has in its store tomorrow for us all. I know it's going to be good. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. Always helps me when I think, oh man, and then I'm like, oh shit, oh yeah. So yeah, it's a really good recipe, just as a reminder. Okay, so be safe out there. Call your parents, be good to them, because we only have them once and we appreciate them sometimes not enough. And I do. I did not when I was younger, but I definitely learned how to appreciate my amazing mom. And yes, I'm very grateful that she even was in the video at the beginning. She has apparently never been in front of a moving camera. I'm like, what? So there you go. That was her first appearance, and I'm pretty proud of her. She did a good job. All right. I'll see you soon, and safe travels out there in the wild, big wild world. Goodbye. Bye-bye.